Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Call Halal Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, which in the English means bless you Yahawah, bless you Yahawashi, all praises to Yahawah in the name of Yahawashi. So I want to say Shalawam unto the Ahchyam, which means peace unto you, brethren. I want to say Shalawam and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. So I want to start off in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 4. It says, "Hear," so with your ears, "Hear, O Israel," you Israelites out there, "the Yahawah, our power, is one Yahawah." So there is no other power other than Yahawah. So I just want to get that out of the way, because we make many idols, whether it be money, our cars, our lifestyles, games, whatever you make an idol out of, that you religiously worship without knowing or even knowing on a day-to-day basis. So the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, in verse 24, it says, "Man's goings are of the Lord, or of the Yahawah. How can a man then understand his way?" And that's another crucial thing. Everything that you do, everything that you go through, whether it be trials and tribulation, whether it be judgment from the Most High, or whether it be a blessing or increase, it's all through the hands of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And that's what we have to understand. So like for instance, in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1, it says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Yahawah, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whatsoever he will." So Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, he said the king's heart. So basically, in the English terms, these presidents, when we go to war and we have these wars, or whether they increase the taxes and things like that to stir up strife in the nation or around the world, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is doing all these things. And we got to understand that, because that brings us back to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Yahawah, our power, is one Yahawah." So there is only one God, so to speak, in the English tongue. There's only one power that controls everything. So I just wanted to touch bases on that. So now I'm just going to go through the spirit and go to Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, "The fear of the Yahawah is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." So once we start to fear the one power, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, that's when we would want to do the commandments to the best of our abilities. That's when we would want to remove ourselves from the world, as he asked us to do. So just continue to go in the spirit. I got these markers in my sword, so I flip to them just to guide me, to bring me back to the precepts that he laid out for us. The book of Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6, it says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children." Alright? So Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi has commanded us to do something. He has laws, statutes, and commandments that we must abide by. Now, being in these corruptible bodies, as it says in Revelation, we will receive new bodies. But that's for another video. But being in these corruptible bodies, it's hard to keep all these commandments perfectly to the best of our abilities. But through faith in Yahawashi, his son, we try to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, you can't just not do the commandments and expect to be in good graces of the Most High, because he still commanded you to do these things. So, let's go back in the Old Testament to, we're going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 34 and verse 7. It says, "The angel of the Yahawah encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them." So, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 7, it says, "The fear of the Yahawah is the beginning of knowledge." Let's get that, so I'm not roughly paraphrasing it. "The fear of the Yahawah is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." So, basically, in Psalms chapter 34 and verse 7, you keep his law, statutes, and commandments. You fear the Most High, and you do what he say. He has protection for you. So these things, these physical things, the things seen, you won't fear them, because you know about the things that are unseen, which is another precept, to roughly paraphrase it. All right, it says now I want to get on touch bases on the enemy. I want to get on Esau a little bit. I'm gonna go to the book of Obadiah, because this is important. It is very, very important to understand that we have an enemy here. And the book of Obadiah is only one chapter pertaining to Esau, the enemy. So the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 10, it says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." So let's go ahead and give you the context of what this chapter is talking about. In Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1, it says, "The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Yahawah power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Yahawah, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle." So it's pertaining to Edom. So let's go back to verse 10. It says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." So we know Esau, the so-called white man, which boiled down their name to the Edomites, and the root word in there is Edom, which stands for red. We know these red people are enemies. They seek to do evil against us, because we are the chosen of the Most High. And how do I know that we're the chosen of the Most High? In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. How do we know that we're the people? Through the curses in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Alright? 28, 15 to 68. Alright? So, I just want to touch bases on these enemies, these Edomites, and all these other heathen nations who are in confederacy of what they did to us. It says, and doing. It says, in the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11, it says, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names." So, what is that scripture talking about? It's talking about these Edomites. When they conquered or whatever and took over, they named these land masses that they went conquering after their own names. So you have America. I'm gonna go ahead and get on that great whore Babylon, as it says in Revelation, mystery whore Babylon. America was named after Amerigo Vespucci. You can look this up in Google. Forgive me for mispronunciation of his name, but I really don't care about that Edomite. But Amerigo Vespucci. And they conquered Africa, and that landmass was named after Leo Scipio Africanus. So sorry if I'm butchering the names, but I'm just trying to give you a broader scope on what these precepts is talking about. And I'm going to read it one more time. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and that their dwelling places to all generations. So yeah, they think they just going to pass it down to their grandson, to their child. They think we just going to be at the bottom in captivity forever. No, that's not the case. And it said they call their lands after their own names. So Leo Scipio Africanus is for America. For Africa, Salakia. And Amerigo Vespucci for America, the whore of Babylon. So what I was touching bases on is that they think we're gonna be in this captivity forever. Alright? So I just want to get one thing before I get on what's gonna happen after our captivity. It says in the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 21, it says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart." So who is this talking about? It's talking about the Edomites. Or it's talking about our enemies, so to speak. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So, yes, they came to America where our Gadite brothers and our Reubenite brothers, the Seminole Indians and Native American Indians, where they inhabited. They came to them and made treaties, so to speak, things that they were to abide by and not do, due to a pact. It said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. We know for a fact that they broke every treaty. They killed and took over this land. This is not theirs. They're walking on stolen land. They're walking on blood, a defiled land, as it says in one of the scriptures, to roughly paraphrase it. And the only way this defiled land will be cleansed is by the blood of him that sheddeth it. So that's a precept, to roughly paraphrase, that these enemies, these Edomites, are enemies. They have to go. They gotta go before the kingdom of heaven can be established, before the Israelites can rule the planet Earth. So, and it says, his words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. So they would come to us, yeah, we want peace, we just want to coexist, so to speak, and then they would kill and take the land. Alright? So, now I want to get on what Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi will grant us when we get out of this captivity. So, that's dealing with the mercy that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi has unto the Israelites for not following his law, statutes, and commandments, but ultimately coming back to his law, statutes, and commandments by having faith in Yahawashi, that we will be the elect of Israel. So it says in the book of Psalms, chapter 57 and verse 10, it says, "For thy mercy is great unto heavens, and thy truth unto the clouds." So everywhere you see Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, his mercy extends, basically. For lack of better words, his mercy extends as far as the eye can see. Alright? So the book of Psalms chapter 58 and verse 10, it says, "The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked." Alright? So when we see our enemies die, and I mean this wholeheartedly. When we see our enemies die, when we see these Edomites and these heathens get under correction, of Bahasham Yahawashi in the day of the Lord, all this comfortability, these tax checks, whatever, all them being on top of us, commanding us to do it, clocking in on their clock, working for them, it's gonna be no more, and we're gonna rejoice because of the vengeance. It's some of us, we think it's past overdue, but no, when Yahawashi bring this vengeance unto Esau, unto Edom, it's gonna be right on time. It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be all in his plans. So I want to kind of end this off. I don't want to make this video too long. I hope this video was edifying. But with the last precept, I just want to touch bases on when we get out of this captivity. It says in the book of Isaiah chapter 14, it says, "For the Yahawah will have mercy on Jacob, on you Israelites, not all Israelites, the elect of Israel, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob." So these heathens are the strangers that will cleave unto us, meaning they will come to us for instruction. They will come to us for guidance. Alright? Just like we come to them. And it says, "And the people shall take them." So we're going to take the kingdom. They're not just going to give it to us. There's going to be a war. When there's a transfer of power from Esau to Jacob, we're going to take the kingdom. It says, "And bring them into their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Yahawah for servants and handmaids." So as it says in Revelation, in rough paraphrase, "He that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword." So what happened to us must happen to them. Alright? "And they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." Alright? So I'm going to end it right there because that precept really speaks for itself. So Esau got a lot coming to them. And these heathen nations have a lot coming to them. And you Israelites, Lord willing, I'm not a part of them. The Israelites who don't follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, and don't have faith in Yahawashi when these things do come upon us, because it's the terrible day of the Lord. They got a lot coming for them. But for the elect of Israel, hopefully this lesson was edifying. I want to say Shalawam unto the Ahchyam, who pushes truth and sincerity. And I want to say double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who teach us truth and sincerity and rule well. I want to say Shalawam.